The biggest struggle editors face is not having ideas. It feels like everybody else is creative but you. So today you will no longer have to stare at a blank comp in After Effects and be lost. Because I will give you a list of 5 editing ideas that you can implement right away. We're gonna go from extremely easy to hard. But specifically wait for number 2 and 3 because the way you can combine them is next level. So pay attention because I'm literally letting you steal my editing sauce. That being said, let's get into it. So the first thing we're gonna cover is the fleshy text. So what you want to do first is separate your words, which I've already done over here. The next step is having these words one frame apart. So I'm gonna take the upper layer and I'm gonna drag it to the right. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do is take the rectangle tool and I'm just gonna create a shape on top of hello. So what I'm gonna do next with this layer is just trim it to one frame and I'm gonna duplicate it by hitting Ctrl D. Then let's take the upper layer and push it to the right by one frame and I'm gonna adjust our cover. So this time we want to put it on the world and now I'm just gonna push this entire thing to the right and check it out. So this is a pretty cool method to reveal stuff and this is something I've used a ton of times, and obviously you don't need to use white, you can use something different, then you can add some glow. I don't know, just be creative. So the idea number 2 is something I like to call offset. So you can use it for the text, you can use it for objects, you can use it for animations. And actually that's what I'm gonna do here. So let me just open up Motion Essence and I'm gonna head over to social media and I will take, what do I take? Let's take IG comment and I'm gonna drop it over here. I'm just gonna apply subtle shadow so it's nicely separated. And here we have this comment animation. And what I'm gonna do with this is just place it on top somewhere here and then let's hit Ctrl D a couple of times. So now we got all these animations on top of one another. So what I want to do with this is select it from the bottom to the top, and it's only if you have After Effects 26. If you don't have it, you would have to offset the layers manually. So you just go over to the second one and drag it lower. And yeah, it would just take a little bit of time. But if you have After Effects 26, you can just select it from the bottom to the top, hit P. And now if you hold down Ctrl plus Alt and you drag Y, you're gonna be able to offset the layers proportionally. Adobe, thank you for this update, this is so time saving. Alright, so now what you want to do apart from just offsetting the properties is also offsetting the timing. So now what I'm gonna do with this is select it from the bottom to the top, and now again I'm gonna hold down Ctrl plus Alt and I'll just offset the layers. And by the way, you can also select it from the top to the bottom, you can also offset it like that, or you can just start selecting it randomly and then you're gonna have it all over the place. So this is also interesting, but let's do it my way. So I'm just gonna select it from the bottom to the top and let's do it like that. So that way we got a pretty cool reveal and actually it looks so fire. Alright, so the idea number 3 is to use bounce, but a lot of people use it wrong, so I'm gonna show you the proper way. So first what you want to do is open up position, for example, and I'm gonna alt click the stopwatch, so just hold down alt click on the stopwatch, and here you wanna head over to the comment section below and paste the expression I left for you. So let's click away, and now with that being done, we're gonna click on the stopwatch again, just don't hold alt, and push that keyframe forward a couple of frames, and we're just gonna drag this layer upwards. Something like that should do. And if we take a look at that, it's gonna get that bouncy effect. But the thing is that it's very linear. So if you really want to spice things up, you can select both keyframes, hit F9, head over to the graph editor, and I'm gonna click on this icon over here. So now usually we would smooth out the movement. So for example, we would just drag the handle to the left, and that way we would have fast movement in the beginning and then it would slow down. But the thing is, if you just leave it like that, we're gonna lose that bounce expression. So a quick fix for this is just taking this keyframe and dragging it upwards. So that way we have the graph combined with the bounce expression and it's looking absolutely awesome. So this looks really cool, and another thing you could do is just combining the properties. So say we're gonna combine position with rotation. So what I'm gonna do is just copy this expression, then I'm gonna close down the position and I'm gonna hold shift click R in order to reveal rotation, and we're gonna alt click the stopwatch. Let's paste it over here and click away. So what we wanna do is set up the keyframe for rotation. Let's have it aligned with the second keyframe, and we're just gonna decrease the value. So look at that. We already have an interesting look, and we didn't even have to use the graph here. But another creative thing here is just offsetting the keyframes. So say I'm just gonna take this a little bit earlier and we're gonna get a different look over here. So yeah, just play around with this. And now let me show you how you could combine it with the idea number 2. So say we're gonna take this project file to the left. So what I need to do is just have the time indicator on one of the keyframes, select them both and drag it to the left. Alright, I think something like that should do. And then I'm gonna duplicate it a couple of times. Let's reveal position. And what I'm gonna do is select them all from the bottom to the top, hold down Ctrl plus Alt and drag it to the right. So now let's do the same thing as we did before, which is basically selecting it all from the bottom to the top. Let's hold down Ctrl plus Alt and look at that. So you can get really creative with this. It can be used for the text, for objects, for animations. There's so many different ways you could use it. For example, here you have the same thing with the scale and also looks pretty cool. Let's do it like that. Alright, so the next one is gonna be 3D camera. So this is something I highly recommend learning because you can have so many different configurations with this and literally sky is the limit. So here we got the cloud and the skyscraper. So if I wanted to create a 2D animation with this, let me just show you. It wouldn't necessarily look great. So you would have something like that. And it looks quite boring. But now if we introduce 3D camera and we put these objects in different Z position, it's gonna become so much more realistic and more pleasant to watch. So I'm just gonna right click, go over to new, camera, and you can copy my settings. I always use type to node camera, preset 35mm, and I just hit OK. So let's place the camera on the bottom, right click, go over to new, dim. Right click, go over to new, no object, and we're gonna call it cam control 1. Now I'm gonna parent our camera to the null, and I'm gonna enable 3D for everything over here. So now here's the thing, if you open up position, you're gonna have the third value over here. So this is responsible for Z. I can actually show it to you in the custom view 1. And now if you just grab these tools over here, you can just see the view from the side. And now if I start playing around with the third value, which is Z, I can get our cloud closer to the camera. And that way I can create nice depth. So here's what we're seeing. Here's our cloud and here's our building. We can actually duplicate the cloud and I'm gonna put it in also a different Z position. So I can use that blue arrow. It's pretty much the same as this value over here. And I can just place it maybe on the right. Let's take the building a little bit further away. We're gonna scale it up. And if we take a look at our active camera, I'm gonna go over to our cam control 1 and I'll hit P. So over here, if I start playing around with Z, you're gonna get that 3D feel. So I could probably just have this cloud over here on the right, a little bit closer to the building. And let's see now. All right, this looks fire. I'm gonna probably have the building a little bit lower. So let's just set up some keyframes for position. I'm gonna create one over here. Let's place it at the beginning and we're gonna get closer to the building. So that's what we have. And now in order to make it more interesting, I'm gonna hit F9 for these keyframes. I'm gonna go over to the graph editor. Let's squeeze the peak towards the left. And now I like using one of the expressions to make it more realistic. So I'm gonna head over to the camera, open up transform, and I'm gonna hold down Alt and click on the stopwatch. Over here, I'm gonna type in wiggle. And in brackets, let's add 1,13. So now this is gonna give us that camera shake, which is making it way more realistic. And then another thing you could do is just add depth of field. So I'm gonna open up camera options and I'm gonna enable depth of field over here. And then if you bump up the aperture, things are gonna become blurry. So now anything that has focus distance set on it is gonna be sharp. So if I go over to the custom view 1, so if I start playing around with the focus distance, you're gonna notice that this rectangle is changing Z position. So I'm gonna probably go over to the moment when we're finished with the movement and I'm gonna adjust our focus distance. So it's on the building. Let's go back to active camera and let's see what we got. So at first we got the building out of focus, but this cloud is sharp and then it's gonna switch up. So actually 3D editing can go crazy, like my PC right now, which is almost driving away. I don't know if you can hear it. Why is it running so hard? It's not even such a complex animation. Our last thing is gonna be paper effect. So I'm just gonna take Mr. Beast and I'm gonna drop him on the timeline. And I think this entire editing style is coming from Ali Abdaal. I think he started it, but we're gonna make it a little bit different. We're kind of aiming for that cartoonish touch. So I'm gonna make sure that Mr. Beast is selected. I'm gonna hit S, let's decrease the scale. And now what you want to do is grab the pen tool and with this layer selected, I'm gonna just create a mask around him. And now here's an important thing. You don't want to go for these curved lines. You just rather want to have it sharp, just like that. Oh, here we don't have a lot of room. All right, let's close down the mask. So once you masked out your subject or an object, we're gonna make sure to apply, actually we need to duplicate it first. And we're gonna make sure to apply fill effect to the bottom Mr. Beast. So now as you can notice, we got that red outline, but Mr. Beast is covering most of it. So over here, we're gonna change it to kind of gray color. I'm gonna hit OK. And then I'm gonna hit S for the bottom layer and I'm gonna bump up the scale. And now I'm gonna rename the layer to paper 1. Then I'm gonna make sure to lift it a little bit higher, not a lot. Then I'm gonna duplicate the paper and I'm gonna drag it a little bit lower. So the magic we're looking for is in the expression. So what I'm gonna do is head over to the position in Mr. Beast. And I'm gonna alt click the stopwatch, and over here what you want to do is type in posterize, and this expression is gonna pop up, so I'm gonna just hit enter. And over here in the brackets I'm gonna type in 5. Then in the second line we're gonna add wiggle, and what you want to add in the brackets is 3,3. So the first expression is gonna make it choppier because we're gonna have fewer frames per second, and then the second expression is gonna move Mr. Beast around, and here we can define how fast our camera shake, our wiggle goes. And then the second expression is responsible for how far it goes. So if I click away, you're gonna notice that Mr. Beast is kind of dancing around. But at the same time, it's pretty choppy because of the posterized time, which is pretty cool for that paper effect. So what I'm gonna do is just copy this expression, then I'm gonna close it down, and here in the paper, in both papers, we're gonna hit P, and I'm gonna alt click the stopwatch, and I'm gonna paste it here. So the difference here is gonna be in the second value in the wiggle, so we're just gonna replace 3 with 5. I'm gonna copy this expression this time, and we're just gonna paste it here. So now this entire thing is moving, which is looking pretty cool for that paper cutout effect. Alright, so now we're gonna apply some effects that will make it nicer. So I'm gonna go over to the paper tool, and I'm gonna apply roughen edges, and let's just zoom in. And what we want to do here is bump up the complexity to 10. I'm gonna bump up the edge sharpness to 10 as well, and we're just gonna bump up the border to say 18. So now these edges are gonna be more realistic, kind of like ripped paper. And now I'm gonna copy this effect and I'm gonna paste it to paper 1. So that way it's looking way better. And now what we wanna do with this is pre-compose all these layers. So I'm just gonna select them all, right click, go over to pre-compose, and I'm gonna call it Mr. Beast. Mr. Busy. I mean, he's busy. So let's just rename it to Mr. Beast. Let's hit OK. And now something that is a complete game changer is applying the texture. So I'm gonna head over to the project, and as you can notice here we got something from Texture Labs. And actually, Texture Labs is a place with plenty of free resources, and I always recommend their stuff. This is not a promo, but you can head over to this page and check out what they got. So for this occasion we're gonna use Grunge 340M, and I'm gonna drop it on top of Mr. Beast. And now you wanna make sure you're in the mode, so just click on this button over here, and we're gonna use the track matte, and we're gonna attach our texture to Mr. Beast. So this is not part in a link, this is track matte. So now whenever you're using that, you're automatically disabling the layer. So I'm gonna enable it again, and now in order to see through the texture, we're gonna make sure to go over to the blending mode, and I'm gonna pick overlay. So now if we zoom in, you're gonna notice that our texture is blending everything together, which is nice. So what we want to do with the texture to kind of bring it to life a little bit more is open up position, and I'm gonna hold down Alt and click on the stopwatch, and over here, we're gonna use the same expression as before. So I'm just gonna type in posterized time. We're gonna add 5 in the brackets, and actually it's gonna be a little bit different. So I'm gonna type in wiggle, and here we're gonna type in 3,150. So this is gonna make it jump all over the place, and just look at that. So this is looking so freaking good, especially on the skin and also on the hoodie. This is such a nice effect, and this is something you can be really creative with. So now I'm just gonna show you real quick how you could actually reveal Mr. Beast. So I'm just gonna go over here, and if we select all the layers and we hit M, we can attach mask path to the mask path in the upper layer, just like that. So whenever I change anything over here, I'm gonna change all of them. So let's say I'm gonna place a keyframe for our mask path in upper Mr. Beast. I'm gonna go back, and we're just gonna take these points and we're gonna drag them a little bit lower. You kind of want to remain the harsh edges, just like that. Let's go even further. I'm gonna hit Ctrl T for these. Just try to differentiate it a bit. All right, so give me a second. So that's what I've created, and we don't want this continuous movement. So what I'm gonna do with this is select all the keyframes, right click, go over to toggle hold keyframe, and that way we're not gonna have this continuous movement for the mask path, we're rather gonna have jump cuts. So the mask is not gonna have any movement until it gets to another keyframe. So look at that. So it's a little bit too slow, I would say, so I'm gonna probably select them all, hold down Alt, grab the last keyframe, and I'm just gonna squeeze it in. Alright, looks way better. Let's adjust it. Alright, let's go back and let's see. So then if you wanted to conceal it, you would just copy all these keyframes, paste them here, and then right click, go over to Keyframe Assistant and click on Time Reverse Keyframes. So now it's just gonna go back. Just need to make sure to trim the layer over here. So this is such a cool method to showcase stuff. Alright, I think we're gonna wrap it up here, like Mr. Beast is wrapping up. And hopefully all these editing methods will help you out with not being stuck in your editing process. So that being said, make sure to check out the video on the screen, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers guys!